René, just this morning we received news about Maersk taking quite a significant impairment. Your views?
Well, I think it's the housekeeping that is necessary across the industry. I think Maersk is showing the way. They are not grieving over maybe an overbuilt program, and they are taking the necessary medicine for impairing. I think we should applaud them for that decision, and everybody should go through the good housekeeping and reset the balance sheet of their fleet.
In your presentation, you emphasised the opportunity presented by new technology, new ways of thinking. Do you see a place for autonomous vessels in the OSV and offshore logistics as a result of companies reinventing themselves?
Not anytime soon. My view has been that we have to have craftsmanship back on the agenda. This is a very, very tough environment to be in. This is not an A to B sort of liner service in shipping, and even that would be challenging for an unmanned ship. Will it come in the future? Maybe, but I would rather actually have craftsmanship back on the agenda.
Now, on that point of craftsmanship, you also asked whether tomorrow will require engineers to be both engineers and IT experts, captains and IT experts, and so on.
I absolutely believe so. I mean, we need to have empowered people on board our ships, but one cannot sort of dislocate the other. So technologically advanced ships have sort of taken over the need for the good old-fashioned craftsmanship on the ships, I believe, and more decisions that could be taken by the officers is done on shore. That's very costly. So we need to move that back on the ship, and we need to actually get the officers and the chief engineers to take the part of the responsibility that, frankly, I think they would like to, but then we of course need to resource them with the technological equipment so they can communicate with the shore.
2014 was a very significant year, a pivotal year perhaps in the life of your company.
Yeah, so we in 2014 we were on the brink of investing in quite a sizable amount of ships, but we decided not to because we simply couldn't get the data to work in terms of the supply demand curve, and so we didn't. At that point in time, we had also concluded our sort of divestment of our engineering businesses to focus on our core, and we had a plan to diversify into marine segments, so basically floating equipment, which we have actually executed on end of 15 and 2016 with two very big projects. In 15, we bought a couple of subsea ships at good rates. And in 16, we have undertaken a mammoth project for the Tenge Chevroil company, where we are building 17 ships.
And finally, René, would you agree that if the oil price improves, investors will look to put it into shale oil or pay dividends rather than invest in deep water projects? And that, in truth, is the new normal for our sector.
I'm not as pessimistic as that, but I think shale oil will continue having a very big importance in the energy demand flows. I do believe that shallow and mid-term water will have to be part of that. I think 30% of some of the energy is coming from offshore, and we are not able to actually manage all the depletion rates across the energy spectrum just by adding more shale. So we will have to add more offshore oil, and with the lack of capex invested over the last 3 years, I think we will be heading towards better conditions for the industry in the near future.
And finally, René, you are a Middle East-based company. I cannot not ask you for your views on an emergent Iran.
Well, I think it is inevitable that will happen. I think it would be good for the world. I think they have a lot of very, very highly educated people, also in the energy space. They have a lot of fossil oil and gas that could come to market, and I think it is inevitable that one way or the other they will return. We have no imminent plans, but of course we are following it with interest.